everybody? Welcome to this video. More importantly, for the newcomers, welcome to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about neuroplasticity. So we're going to be talking about its meaning in our society, how exactly it applies to our brain, the science behind it, some case studies and some stories of people who went through neuroplastic changes in order to adapt to a physical injury. And just in general, we're going to be looking at what neuroplasticity will be within the next half century or so. So let's get right into it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. All right, everyone, welcome to our exploration of neuroplasticity, the brain's incredible ability to recognize, adapt, and evolve by forming new connections or modifying already existing ones. So this property actually allows our brain to change in various responses to experiences which pave the way for growth and transformation in the brain. So over the last couple of centuries, we've been on a journey to uncover the truth about neuroplasticity. And it's honestly been a fascinating ride. From the 1990s to present day, we've actually witnessed revolution thanks to advanced neuroimaging technologies like fMRIs and PET scans. These innovations actually enabled researchers to visualize and study neuroplastic changes in the brain in real time, which propelled our understanding of neuroplasticity to new heights. So let's dive into the science, right? The biological and physiological mechanisms that actually underpin neuroplasticity, which drive the brain's ability to adapt to learning experiences and environmental changes. So the science, right? Neuroplasticity, the brain's remarkable ability to adapt and recognize, involves various biological and physiological mechanisms, primarily synaptic plasticity and neurogenesis, which underpin its adaptability. Remember, we talked about that. Here's a little bit of a breakdown of how these mechanisms actually help the brain adapt to learning experiences and environmental changes. So synaptic plasticity, or the long-term depression, which is weakening synaptic connections through reduced stimulation and are important for refining neural pathways. The Hebbian plasticity, right, which focuses on strengthening connections when neurons fire together, and it aids in learning and memory formation. So number 2, neurogenesis, or hippocampal neurogenesis, is the continual generation of new neurons in the hippocampus, which are linked to memory consolidation and spatial learning. Now we talk about brain adaptation. So this is the learning and skill acquisition, which focuses on strengthening neural connections through repetition and in aiding efficient information processing and retention. The environmental influence aspect of this are the specific experiences and environmental stimuli which shape the brain's structure and connectivity, ultimately optimizing it for encountered tasks. Right, so now we talk about the injury or functional changes, where the brain redistributes functions to undamaged areas after injury and recovery for compensation of lost functions. Understanding these steps and mechanisms helps harness neuroplasticity for improved learning, memory, recovery, and cognitive abilities. So, all right, we've explored the science. Now let's dive into the different types of neuroplasticity and what makes them so important. So understanding these types is crucial in comprehending the brain's adaptive capabilities. So structural plasticity, for one, is all about the physical changes in the brain, the formations of new connections between neurons, and the pruning of unused connections. So this process actually plays a crucial role in our ability to learn and remember things. I would say think of it like forging a new pathway in your brain, ultimately paving a way for enhanced learning and adaptability to new experiences. So let's talk about functional plasticity. It's the brain's incredible knack to redistribute functions if part of the brain might be injured, deteriorated, or there might be any changes in demand. The brain adapts by shifting functions to undamaged areas. This is nothing short of impressive, and it aids in recovery and the showcasing of brain's adaptability to different and new circumstances. You might be asking yourself, why does this all matter? So understanding neuroplasticity empowers us in various ways, starting with the fact that it helps educators optimize new learning experiences and allows us to tailor educational approaches for enhanced learning outcomes, kind of like what I'm doing right now in this video. So secondly, in the context of brain injuries, comprehending functional plasticity is crucial for effective rehabilitation and aiding in the recovery of reorganization of essential functions. Moreover, embracing neuroplasticity can significantly impact life. Mindfulness, therapy, and stress reduction techniques can induce positive changes in the brain, which ultimately promote overall well-being. Let's not forget about wisdom. Stimulating neuroplasticity through lifelong learning and cognitive exercises might help us cultivate wisdom and enrich our lives, essentially. In essence, embracing and leveraging neuroplasticity is not just about the brain, right? It's about empowering life. It opens the door to optimize education, tailored rehabilitation, improved mental health, and even advancements in the brain related to technologies. So while we still have the chance, I think it's a good moment to shift our focus onto an incredible set of success stories and case studies that shed light on how neuroplasticity has made a real difference in people's lives. So these success stories, we have 2 stories and 3 case studies. Our first story is about Phineas Gage. Phineas Gage was a railroad construction foreman who survived a severe brain injury in 1848. So an iron rod actually pierced through his skull, damaging a significant portion of his brain's frontal lobe. Remarkably though, Gage's personality and behavior changed drastically following the accident, providing early evidence of the brain's plasticity and its role in personality and behavior. So this actually is a perfect example of how a man or a woman their brains can change instantly in a situation where the structure might be compromised. So Michael Merzenich is our second story, and Merzenich, a neuroscientist, actually played a role in developing cochlear implants, a groundbreaking technology for individuals with hearing impairment. So his work showcases how neural pathways can be rewired to process auditory information, restoring and hearing, significantly improving the quality of life for many. Our first case study, the CIMT study, or the therapy study. Numerous studies and cases have demonstrated the effectiveness of constraint-induced movement therapy, or the CIMT, in stroke rehabilitation. So this therapy actually talks about the restricting use of an unaffected limb and the encouraging use of the affected one. And through neuroplasticity, individuals actually relearn motor skills and regain the function in their affected limb. So the second study, right, we talk about the impact of memory training on plasticity. And this was a study by Dahlin in 2008, and it demonstrated improvements in memory and changes in brain structure in older adults following memory training. We talk now about the video game training and brain plasticity. And this research, such as the study Video Game Training Enhances Cognitive Control in Older Adults by Angera in 2013, shows how video game training can enhance cognitive control abilities in older adults. This provides insight into the potential of specific interventions to induce neuroplastic changes in the brain and in these older individuals. So these case studies and these stories show us how neuroplasticity has evolved over the past couple centuries and how we have evolved into being able to understand how the brain works and how those changes actually affect our brain. So this ties into something really interesting that I want to talk about, and it's the idea of neuroplasticity and how it can become very effective for those who might be less fortunate. In case where someone might be born with the genetic mutation where they are missing the ability for them to see, right? They're missing that structure in their olfactory area of their brain. So that portion of the brain, while it's lacking those structures, what neuroplasticity does is that it allows other areas in the brain, these other senses, to take over that missing area in the brain with those missing structures. I'll put this in like easier terms, right? A person who is born blind, right, without the ability to see, might be born with the ability to hear things a lot better or feel like sense things a lot better than the average person. This makes it super interesting as far as neuroplasticity goes and as far as these changes and adaptations go. So I hope that was a useful piece of information of neuroplasticity. Because if we don't know what our future holds, how can we actually be prepared for it, right? Looking ahead, the future of neuroplasticity is nothing short of promising. Emerging research and technologies are opening up new horizons, unlocking even more potential within this field. So, some of these advancements that I want to talk about are particularly interesting. One of them being our BCIs, or our brain-computer interfaces. So this is one of the most promising frontiers. These interfaces facilitate direct communication between our brains and computers. So researchers are actually exploring the potential of BCIs in assisting individuals with paralysis, enabling them to control devices and interact with the world using just their thoughts. Think about how immersive that is in techniques. So these non-invasive brain stimulation techniques, such as transcranial magnetic stimulation, TMS, or transcranial direct current stimulation, or TDCS, are gaining traction. These methods can modulate brain activity, showing promise in treating various neurological conditions, improving cognitive function, and even enhancing learning capabilities. Number three, virtual reality. We've heard of this, but for neurorehabilitation. So virtual reality is proving to be a game changer for neurorehabilitation by creating immersive and interactive environments. VR is assisting in rehabilitation of stroke survivors or people with traumatic brain injuries and those with mobility challenges. It's a powerful tool which encourages neuroplasticity to aid in recovery. Nootropics. So the pharmaceutical interventions and nootropics, also known as smart drugs, are undergoing extensive research. These substances aim to enhance cognitive thinking way beyond what we know, as well as function and memory. As our understanding of neurochemistry goes, we may see more targeted drugs that optimize neuroplasticity for improved brain performance, these being one of them. Number five, the personalized brain training programs. So these personalized brain training programs are emerging, leveraging artificial intelligence to tailor exercises that optimize neuroplasticity. So these programs adapt to an individual's cognitive profile, providing targeted challenges to enhance specific cognitive functions. By staying informed and engaged in this exciting field, I think we can witness these advancements firsthand. So stay curious, explore the research, consider how these breakthroughs may shape the future, not just for science, but for the potential of our own brains. The future is no doubt bright for neuroplasticity, offering hope for a world where brains can continually adapt, learn, and thrive. Embrace the possibilities and let's unlock the full potential of our most extraordinary organ, the human brain. So I think the next time you hear about neuroplasticity, remember that it's not just a scientific concept, it's a game changer for a better, more adaptive life. All right, guys, that was it for me. I hope that you found this information useful. Like I said in my other video, I'm going to be doing these videos a couple of times a week. I want to upload at least 2 to 3 pieces of content a week, whether that's in shorts or long form video. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the information today, or you think you learned something, go down in the comments below. Tell me what you learned or what you want to see. Obviously, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification button, and let's get things done. I appreciate you guys. Let's get it. Peace.